Hi folks. Maybe like me, you're a true ABBA fan. In other words, you didn't just hear Dancing Queen on the radio once or twice and say, that's a great song, but you're an actual fan. You know their B-sides, you know all their music videos, you know their 8 studio albums, you know all their history and roots and so on. And so I go way back with ABBA. In fact, I bought this album when I was a teenager at Woolco. If you don't know what Woolco is, go look it up. ABBA's Greatest Hits. This is so old, it was before they reversed the B in one of the B's on their name, ABBA. Anyway, ABBA's Greatest Hits. It's a compilation, actually, I didn't know it at the time, but it's a compilation of 2 of their first studio albums, was Ring, Ring, and Waterloo. So the best of those they put on this ABBA's Greatest Hits. Now, at the time, this was like $5.99. So as a teenager, this was big bucks, and I must have played this hundreds of times. This is a great album of greatest hits. But interestingly, it's only from 2 albums of theirs, and they went on to have lots of other wonderful creative hits. Now, this video is my video of the 10 best ABBA songs. The 10 best ABBA songs. You may agree, you may not agree, and guess what? These aren't really their more popular songs. So Dancing Queen's not on here. Great song. Chiquitita is not on here. Great song. It's not on here though. Fernando, great song, not on my list. What is on my list? Well, as a matter of fact, I've got it right here. And I'm going to give it to you in order, but for the first thing I'm going to say though is I've got some honorable mentions. I've got some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list. The first one is I Wonder. I wonder. I mean, the notes on that are awesome. It's all about, you know, leaving the life of comfort and venturing out. It's sort of a life meets art, art meets life, because you wonder how much of it was, you know, the reflection of their going on the road and becoming famous and so on. Also, the name of the game, because it's got that cool boom, 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 boom bass part in it. Oh, that's a great song. That's an honorable mention number 2. The third honorable mention is My Mama Said, which is a very old ABBA song, and it's got this cool marimba right at the beginning of it. I mean, what's not to love? Because they're using a marimba, and it's got that. It's kind of a funky lyric, but it's got this. My mama said, oh, it's a great song. So those are honorable mentions. If you don't know those songs, go look them up. So my number 10 on my list, okay, of the ABBA songs is I've Been Waiting for You. What's not to love? So the verses were like, I've been in love before. I thought I would know more. Managed to hit the ceiling still. Strange as it seems to be, you brought it back to me, that old feeling. I don't know what you do. You made me think that you possibly could release me. I think you'll be able to make all my dreams come true. Please believe me. And then the chorus is, you please me, you excite me, you thrill me, you excite me, you're something I've been dreaming for. I love you, I adore you, I live my life before you, I have you want me more and more. And finally it seems my lonely days are through. Chords there is just so perfect. And then right at the end, way before Journey and other bands did na 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 na, stuff like that, they have this na 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 na. So it's just awesome. I've Been Waiting for You. So now you know that I've Been Waiting for You is my 10th on my 10 top ABBA songs of all time list. Number 9, Agnetha either co-wrote this or wrote the whole thing, depending on which account of history that you read. But it's Disillusion. Not many people know about this because it was on their very first album, which was called Ring Ring. So let's do a little bit. It's got this very cool intro. let's do a little bit of the verses. Changing, moving in a circle. I can see your face in all of my dreams. Smiling, laughing from the shadows. When I hear your voice, I know what it means. I know it doesn't matter just how hard I try. You're all the reason for my life. Disillusion's all you left for me. Disillusion's now, that's all I have. Now that is genius. That is awesome. So Disillusion, my 9th on my top 10 ABBA songs of all time. We've covered 2 songs now, I've Been Waiting for You and Disillusion. Now we're up to the 8th of what I consider to be the top 10 ABBA songs of all time in terms of musical excellence. And that is, actually this one is a fairly famous one. It's called Thank You for the Music. Now the cool thing about this is that it could be in a musical because it's just so rich in its tapestry. And especially love the way that Agnetha goes, Mother says I was a dancer before I could walk. She said. I mean, I love the part. Oh, what's not to love? So Thank You for the Music. That is a great song. And that is actually on the album, which was their 5th in 8 studio albums. So that is, see my separate video for what I consider to be the top ABBA albums of all time. And the album is actually my 3rd favorite ABBA album. Anyway, that's a great song. Thank You for the Music. Now the 4th one might be a little bit unusual because there's no singing on it. And ABBA is a great musical band, you know, with good vocals. But the number 4 one on my list is actually called Intermezzo number 1. Go look that up sometime. It's a wonderful song. It's an orchestral piece. It's got all kinds of cool breaks in it. And it's a great instrumental, really one of the best instrumentals of all time. So now we've gone 10, 9, 8, 7. So that's really in this number 7 one, Intermezzo number 1. The 6th in my list, so number 6, is called That's Me. Are you sure you wanna hear more? And the soaring part at the end is awesome. It's one of the best examples of their vocal ability because they're soaring way high above the main track vocals there. So That's Me. The words are a little interesting too, but the vocals are just, what's not to love? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 10 being I've Been Waiting for You, 9 being Disillusion, 8 being Thank You for the Music, 7 being Intermezzo number 1, 6 being That's Me. So the 5th in the list is actually I'm gonna say 2 songs here because they're kind of together on the album. They're actually right next to each other, but it's Slipping Through My Fingers and Like an Angel Passing Through My Room, which actually were the last 2 songs on their last album before things were added to the album The Visitors. So the Slipping Through My Fingers part is all about this mom and this girl, and it's just this heart-wrenching story about, you know, she feels kind of disillusioned, you know, her girl is going off to school with a half, you know, absent-minded smile, and so on. But it's just beautiful lyrics, wonderful singing, and then right next to that one, right after that, is Like an Angel Passing Through My Room, which the beat is a clock ticking the whole time. Now, so I've Been Waiting for You, Disillusion, Thank You for the Music, Intermezzo number 1, That's Me, Slipping Through My Fingers, / Like an Angel Passing Through My Room. So now we're up to the 7th song in our list of the top 10, what I consider to be the top 10 most awesome ABBA songs of all time, and that is Like Old Friends. The way that like old friends do. Oh, that is so great. We can make it together the way old friends do. And on the album, it's actually recorded live. And that's on Super Trooper from 1980, their second last album. So now we've just got a couple left. Now we're down to the top 3 ABBA songs of all time. We've gone 10 through 7, and now we're 3, 2, 1. We're in the top 3. You want to hear what my top 3 favorites are? Well, here's the first of the 3. Number 3 of my favorites is Hasta Mañana. We got to play a little bit because that's so great. Where is the spring and the summer? But once was yours and mine. Where did they go? I just don't know. But still my love for you will live forever. Hasta mañana, say we'll meet again. Don't know when. And toward the end of the song, they change keys, which is great for me as a music aficionado. When they change keys, oftentimes it just raises the bar for me, and it's just awesome. So that's my number 3, Hasta Mañana, which is actually an older song. It's on Waterloo, their second studio album. Very cool. Now we're down to the top 2. So this is where, this is the intense moment here. My number 2 is, you ready for it? Wait for it. Here it is. I'm so excited about this. My number 2 is The Visitors. I hear the doorbell ringing. It's just right away. It's like, it's got all these funky sounds right at the beginning. It's actually off the Visitors album, which is their last album, was one of the very first albums globally that was completely done digitally, not analog, back in 1982. Pretty cool, The Visitors. And that's the title track. It's right at the beginning. It just sort of hits you, and it's about 4.5 minutes long, so it's awesome. And it's awesome. And the very last one in my list here, which is my top favorite all-time ABBA song, is I Let the Music Speak. Not so much for actually both for the lyrics and the music. They're both really, really good. It's one of those most perfect songs ever written. I mean, for me, it ranks right up there with Something from the Beatles. Just a perfect song. It's just perfectly, from beginning to end. And it just ends perfectly, and it begins perfectly. But it's all very rich in its tapestry. I'm hearing images, or I'm seeing images. I'm hearing sounds. It's just the whole thing. I let the music speak with no restraint. Everything about it is awesome. So if you haven't heard I Let the Music Speak, it's a musician's song because it's all about music and why we play it and why we love it. I Let the Music Speak. So to recap, we've got number 10, I've Been Waiting for You. Number 9, Disillusion. Number 8, Thank You for the Music. Number 7, it's Intermezzo, number 1, an actual non-vocal song. It's an instrumental. Number 6, That's Me. Number 5, Slipping Through My Fingers / Like an Angel Passing Through My Room. Number 4, The Way or Like Old Friends Do. And number 1, I'm getting all choked up, I Let the Music Speak. So those are my top 10 best ABBA songs. Now, every ABBA song is awesome. It really is. They're one of the few bands that actually, there's no bad songs. And others of my favorite bands, and you may dispute this, I mean, even the Beatles, they have some songs that, I'm once and done. I'm okay with not listening to them again, like I Am the Walrus and, Revolution number 9 and Maxwell's Silver Hammer. I mean, there are some songs that are just kind of less in quality, in my humble opinion. But ABBA, every single song, Now, there's a couple on Voulez-Vous. Now, watch my other video about my favorite albums. There's a couple on Voulez-Vous that are, I would give it like an A- instead of an A+, but every single one of the others, except for one or two on Voulez-Vous, are just, they're absolutely top-notch. So, musically, this band is, I think, one of the top 3 bands that ever existed. And so, those are 10 reasons, if you will, of why I believe that this is an excellent band. So if you are an ABBA fan, hopefully you'll like this list. If you're not, maybe this intrigued you to, maybe I should check out these songs. Yes, I highly encourage you to do so. Thanks. I've been in love before. I thought I would